Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Tea Time Presents. This week we have David Bermudez and
Uh-huh.
Robert Isidore, two of our last remaining veterans of the Stonewall Revolution. So
Yes.
I
Perfect.
would like to introduce these two gentlemen, these two young men, to us, to our community today. But for all of you, I want to give everybody a little breakdown of what the Stonewall was. So give me a little second. I got a little something to read to y'all.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, uh-oh.
You're there.
Did you hear that? No.
No.
Hold on. I
Cutting
gotta
the
mute
trees.
something. There. There we go. All right. Stonewall riots. Here we go, everyone. This is the Stonewall. The Stonewall Inn was located in Greenwich Village. It was one of the few places where people of in the LGBT plus community could gather and express themselves freely during a time when individuals when homosexuality was criminalized in the United States. The bar was known for its clientele, which included drag queens, transgendered individuals, and other marginalized members of the LGBTQ community. Police raided gay bars, and it was common. And on the night of June 28th, 1969, officers entered the Stonewall Inn to arrest patrons and employees for alleged violations, which included operating without a liquor license and not adhering to gender appropriate laws. Y'all, where we are today, where we are right now, is exactly where we were in 1969. This time, the people being hunted aren't the homosexuals, not the blacks. It's the people just melanated people in general. So until we change, until we break the
Yeah.
cycle, we're forced to stay in it. But right now, I would like to welcome David Bermudez. And if you guys can hear this, I'm going to turn it up just a little. David is a singer, and this CD that I am listening to is David. But I'm gonna start over because I want y'all to hear the first song on this album and tell me he don't sound just like Frank Sinatra. Oh, here we go. I don't want to blow the thing out. Here we go. Presenting David Bermudez.
I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, oh, what a life, I'm in love. I got a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. And you see I'm in love.
All right, y'all. Introducing David and Robert. All right, y'all.
All right. Thank you, Tanya. It's really such an honor to be on your program
Yes.
today. And thank you so much for asking us to be here.
You are so welcome. And I'm handing you the floor. I would like, tell us the story, your story, David, of that night in June, and because you were a boy.
Yeah, I was 29 years old.
Well, that's still a boy. So because you were a young man. But tell us, I mean, I would just like to hear your story on how everything
All right.
happened. I mean,
Sure.
from your point of view, however you would like to lay it out, the floor is yours.
I'd let Bob start. Go
You
ahead.
want me to start?
Yeah.
All right. Well, David wanted me to talk about our younger years first. We can remember that far back. So, um, actually, I was brought up in Fall River, Massachusetts. My family was Catholic, very Catholic. But I didn't have an issue with the gay thing. We didn't. I didn't discuss it. They didn't. They knew, and it was just okay. No. Um, after graduating high school, I joined the service, and one thing I wanted to say is that you know, at that time in the army, where I was, if you killed somebody from, or that was an enemy, they'd give you a medal. But if they found out you were gay, you'd get a dishonorable discharge.
Hmm.
I mean, just think of the comparison of these two values that the government used. Um, now things are different. But before, if I had, for instance, passed away and I was buried in a veteran cemetery, David, even though he's my legal spouse, could not be. They would not allow that. I mean, there are many, many, many things that most people don't realize that there was such a division because of being gay. That you were denied so many rights. Even in New York, when I was there, that's when I met David. It was illegal to serve gay people alcohol. If you went into a bar with anyone and they served that person a drink and they served you a drink knowing you were gay, they could be fined and the gay person would be arrested. You could be thrown out of your homes, uh, rental homes, uh, if they found out you were gay. I mean, all these things without cause. It was that label that you had on them. Um, and I want to bring up one thing about David as an example. When David was younger, um, he went to a a gay bar. It was a friend of his was opening it up. It was a small place. David was leaving about 1 o'clock in the morning, I think, and David doesn't say this too much because I know it's painful to repeat, but it has to be told. When he was leaving, and this is in New York City, he was walking down the street, and there was a police car following him, and they yelled out, "Hey, faggot!" "Hey, queer!" And David ignored them, and they repeated it. When he turned around, they stopped the car, got out, grabbed him, threw him against the police car, and literally beat him with billy clubs to the point that he was bleeding on the sidewalk. This was without cause. He was not doing anything except walking down the street. But being a gay man, they did this. The sad thing was, people were walking by and did nothing because they did not want to interfere. And I'm sorry if it's upsetting people, but they do need to know this
Yes.
because these days, some of this history is whitewashed so
Blocked,
people do not hear it. And that's just one instance.
Hmm.
But I don't want to keep on the negative.
No.
I want to talk about where we are today because of pioneers like David. And David,
I don't want you. I don't want you to edit yourself. Tell your story. We need to feel this. But David, I don't want you to hurt. So please don't let us take more than you're willing to give.
Oh yeah.
But people need to understand. We got to feel because that is how we change. because most people don't understand anything until it happens to them.
Yes.
So, all of the people who have an iota of empathy need to hear the true story, need to hear the parts that we want to skip over but can't.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. I mean, even that the night of Stonewall, David had two friends of his who we knew. They were a couple, gay couple. They were so frightened of what happened at Stonewall, and because of all the prior oppression and harassment, they committed suicide.
Yes.
And these are the stories that no one people never hear.
Hmm.
And this is the ones we know of. Can you imagine? I mean, living in New York, I am sure there are many gay men and women and trans that were made unalive because of the period of time we lived in.
Hmm.
And that continues to today. I mean, don't think that it doesn't. We, prior to moving to Cape Cod, we lived in California and we were trying to buy a townhouse. We couldn't buy one because we were gay. I mean, they would not sell us this townhouse. We could not get a loan. Well, we had to get two girlfriends of ours to play like they were our fiancés and wife, and we got it, and that's how we ended up with a townhouse in California. Um, and fast forward, moving to Cape Cod, it was totally different. Even though we're in a conservative area, our realtor would not let us leave. We were going to go somewhere else. No, 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 no. You guys got to stay here. And everything went pretty smoothly, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but there is still that little in pockets of people that will not tolerate, for no reason, you being there because you're gay. Um, but I don't want to talk too long because David's going to tell his story.
All right. We are
I'll let
ready.
him. I'll let him. Yeah. Oh, first, I want to say thank you. It's a wonderful, wonderful time to be on. And you're looking fabulous, by the way. You're
Oh,
looking wonderful. Another thing, too, one of the things that I always specify, when I talk, it's not just that we're talking about Stonewall, right? That was a bar that we hung around in, and you know, there was many other bars too, because this was Greenwich Village in New York City. You know, today when I talk to a lot of groups, I talk to a lot of schools, churches. You know what I mean? And when I talk to the kids, a lot of the kids, most of the kids are straight. Then they have sometimes these classes that have LGBTQ thing, and they come in, you know what I mean? But I always talk with them and say, everything that I'm saying, I'm too old right now, uh, is the truth. I will not lie. I will not say things that make you feel good. Yes, there's wonderful things that have went on too. I just want to say, since I'm here, the way that I'm feeling right now at my age, and I'm not going to tell you the age.
She
um,
knows.
um, I want them to know that just because this happened in the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, this went on forever. Um, it doesn't mean it can't happen again. We have a thing happening now, but still, another thing too, I want to say before I start, my great grandmother was a black woman from Puerto Rico, you know, she was a real feisty little grandma, great grandma, and, you know, they were always very close to me because I was the little boy that was born and all girls.
Yeah.
Somebody could make a joke out of it and say, "Yeah, Dave, you know." But and my family was not what you call. My family was Latino. They were from Puerto Rico. My father was from Spain. You know what I mean? But they never got into stuff like this. They loved me. I loved them. That was what it was all about. My dad was a minister. He was a Pentecost, holy roly, you know, and for 38 years he was. He had a church on Lenox Avenue and 115th Street in New York City. Great man. We were on weekends with my father, weekdays with my mother because they were divorced. Had a good life, a great life with him. He never was a man who would pin you down and try to make you, you know, believe something he wasn't. He was just a gentle man. So, and I think that in the 70s, actually the late 60s, I was with someone and he knew it. He knew it. He lived in my neighborhood, but he never said anything. He was always very polite and very happy. He liked coffee and bread. That's all he liked. But the thing is, I want everybody to know that, yeah, there is people that were against us, people that were hurting us, people that were calling us filthy names, people who didn't care if we lived or died, actually. But there was good people too. There was
Absolutely.
wonderful people. Um, the thing of living in New York City, you live with a lot of different nationalities: Italian, Irish, Black, right? Spanish. And you just become a part of all because what you did is you ate a lot. But what I'm getting at is that I want people to understand that this was an era that I'm not going to go ahead and say anything bad about the mayor or the governor or whatever. I'm not going to. They were against us. They were people who um, thought we were just sick guys and girls because I hung around with a lot of lesbians. Um, and it got to a point where you didn't hate them. You hated what they were doing to us. That's what you hated.
Mhm.
I did not hate anybody because they thought I was gay, because, well, I probably would travel the whole world and be a whole lot of people I would go
Right.
against me. So I'm trying to just say to the kids, especially the young kids, you know, um, this could happen again.
Absolutely.
It could
No
happen
question.
again. Um, I was with the black movement. I went to
I
I got
see.
a dream speech. I went with I was young, and it was two Puerto Rican guys, and one black guy. We always hung around together, and we got on a Greyhound bus, $38, and we went to Washington. And while we were in Washington, there was nobody there. And then all of a sudden, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. The thing that I will always remember the Greyhound bus, the women were all black women. They looked at this two white boys, one black boy, and say, "Well, they were very sweet to us. They fed us. They they made chicken and they made all kinds of food and all that. They were great, 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 great." So uh, when I talk about things that happened when I was a young man, especially a young, um, you know, like just a kid, a kid who I wasn't a kid, but I was young and having a good time and enjoying myself. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, one a very famous actress named Judy Garland passed away,
Mhm.
and she was always with us. I used to be in show business, as you know, right? And whenever she came to town, she would always be with us and go to a bar and things like that. She was very lovely. Yes, yes, she was on drugs and all that kind of stuff, but she was a woman who just loved us. The theaters were just full of gay men. You know what I mean? But she went ahead and got married again, moved to London, if I remember well,
Yes.
and she had a flat there. And what happened, the story is that she got up in the middle of the night and went to get her medicine and got the wrong medicine. And her husband found her dead the next morning in the bathroom.
Sleeping
Well,
pills.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh. So what happened, we didn't know. We didn't know. We thought Hollywood with Judy, Hollywood, and it wasn't. Campbell's Funeral Parlor in New York City is a lovely funeral parlor where Valentino was laid out, by the way. You know,
Okay,
she was laid
Rudy.
out there. We were shocked. What? What? We can't believe it. Well, she was going to do this in Hollywood. So I went to see her, and it was thousands and thousands of people out there, lines to get into the chapel to see her. So I got on the line, and a friend of mine from show business says, Dave, you want to see Judy, huh? Yeah, I do. Come on with me. So I'm on? All right.
There you go.
I was going to say that I saw Judy and did the whole thing and all that. Then I left. So the following day, 2 days later, something I think it was 3 days, something like that.
Yeah. The day of her burial.
Burial, and she was laid out. YMCA, you know, New York City YMCA, and a friend of mine calls me and says, Dave, yeah, let's go to a bar to celebrate Judy's life. And I went, I don't think so. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. About 10:30, 11, somebody calls, Dave, come on, let's go to the village and, just celebrate her life and things like that. I went, okay, I got to get back early because I'm leaving the Y to go into a new apartment, you know. So we were there, we went around, we went to Julius's bar, and, we just went around. And then about 1:10 or 1:15, something like that, I said, I got to get back. I got to get out of the Y by 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And they said, oh, don't worry. Let's have one more drink. And I says, no, but, in New York, I ain't going to get on a train at 1:30 in the morning by myself, right? So I said, all right, let's go. So we went across the street. It was right there, the Stonewall Inn. So we went in and we got in there and saying hello and all that. And we used to sit in the back. There's a back room in the back of the bar. I think it's still like that. And it was Latinos, right? Our black friends, you know what I mean? And sometimes a couple of drag queens because we were very good friends to drag queens, you know. So, we were out there and it was great. About I would say 1:30, something like that. You know what I mean? We were we had a drink and we hear the door opened, the big door, and these guys come walking in, policemen and plainclothesmen. They walk in and they yelled out, um, "It's a raid!" Right now, there was lights that they used to have on these bars, a white light and a red light. And the red light is to watch out, but the white light split.
Yeah.
Don't even touch each other. Smoke your cigarette, have your drink, that kind of stuff. They came in and they yell out, "It's a raid." Separate. So we had to all separate in the bar, right? Now, mind you, there was a back of the bar too, and we said, "What the hell's going on?" And I said, "Oh, don't tell me that they raided. We're going to lose our apartments. We're going to lose our jobs." You know what I mean? And they said, "Well, let's take out our ID." We did. Now,
Back, but we're not. There
wait,
we
wait, yeah,
are. What one thing that people didn't realize when they raided, what they would do is take your name, find your address, and the next day it was in the paper.
yes,
So because of that, that's why the guys and girls who were in there would lose their jobs, lose their apartments. Sometimes their families would throw them
throw them
out.
out.
And that's, I'm sorry, I don't want to
That's all
interrupt
right.
your
No, go
story,
ahead.
but that's what happened when they would raid. They
Mhm.
would actually, you know,
And that's what we were afraid of, I want to say something. In the 1960s, right, we had a lot of problems with the government, with the blacks, with women's rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with gay rights. You know what I mean? And it was not nice. It was ugly. But at that moment that we were at the bar, we were always at a bar that we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time, and everybody knew each other. You know what I mean?
it was a safe place to be.
And yeah, another thing too, Bob just reminded me, the mafia, right, used to pay the policemen. They used to pay the policemen so they don't raid your bar, so they don't hurt you. You know what I mean?
They didn't pay that much.
And we wanted to know, hey, why are we being raided? Well, the bar did not pay the mafia that month.
Protection money.
Money, it's all money.
And plus, there was an election going on.
Yeah,
Was it Mayor Lindsay?
Mayor Lindsay,
Yeah.
who said raid the bars so he can get all his publicity and all that. So going back, we were in the bar having our drinks, and oh, by the way, the Stonewall had jukeboxes. Nobody had music bars. We did because, well, the money, you know what I mean?
Mafia.
And so we were just fun people. We danced, we did whatever we had to do. We drank, we celebrated, whatever. We were just fun guys and girls. There was girls there too, not only drag queens. There was girls, and I know that the girls were lesbians. Bob and I have always been very close to the lesbians. They're my people. um, so we took out our ID. Oh, by the way, our IDs did not have a picture. It was just an ID. So it was easy to take it and give it to another person and another person. We used to do that, like if they were rating us, I'd give it and I don't have one here. Because there was no picture. So we were ready to, do our thing, and we said, "Oh, we got to get the heck out of here," because we were way in the back of the bar, way in the back. So let's wait. All of a sudden, we hear now. I'm a New Yorker, and anybody knows about New York, we have dirty mouths.
Don't forget this will be on TV. So
We're on TV.
No, no, actually, you feel free because I want authenticity.
Oh, I heard somebody yell out. We heard somebody yell out, "Get your effing hands off me, you fag!" Right? And we went, "Whoa!" We looked. We didn't say anything. We didn't see anything. Then we saw some commotion going on in the middle of the bar. Mind you, we were in the back, right? And we said, "Oh, jeez, what's going on here?" And then we heard another one, and then we heard another. And before you knew it, there was like a raid, or they were
riot.
they were
Right.
rioting and beating the cops up. They were jumping the cops, and they were, and the cops, yeah, and the cops had their billy clubs. Billy clubs were clubs like this big that cops used to always have. I don't think they have those anymore.
No,
And
no, they do,
they
but
used
now
to
they're
do.
extendable wands, and they're the size of
Yeah. Oh,
a pin, so that they hurt a whole lot more.
oh, oh. Mm-mm. Oh, that was bad enough getting hit with that stick, because to me, I called it a stick. And they were fighting and doing their thing and calling names. And before you knew it, we looked at each other and said, "Whoa, whoa, what's going on here?" You know, we couldn't believe that this was going on while we were there. And I said, "We have to get out of here. We're going to lose our jobs." The whole thing in the paper, give me a break. So, in the interim of all that going on, we were trying to get out to the bar. And mind you, it's a long bar. And I got to about, I don't know, towards the middle or something like that. And all of a sudden, I get hit on the neck with a
Oh,
billy club, and I fall. And when I fell, I don't know how long I was down. I got up and I saw this guy in front of me, handsome, handsome man. I'm going, "What the F is this all about?" You know what I mean? And I was going to fight him. Didn't know that he was a plainclothesman in the bar. So a kid, I don't know who it was, but jumped the cop, pinned him down. And then I sort of got up to go to get out. And the door was still closed. So all of a sudden I see, I don't know if it was a drag queen or something, open the door. They pushed the door in, when they were doing this. And when I get to about the door, we had a cigarette machine there. I saw this young boy face down on the floor with a cop and a billy club around his neck, and he was choking him. And I'm going, "Hey, get off!" And I'm yelling out, and I'm grabbing him. My friends are grabbing me and saying to me, "David, please,
Yes,
let's get out of here."
that's when you got hit again in the
Yeah,
head
and I got hit again. But
with a club.
this time, when I did that, I wanted very badly to at least get the club off this guy's neck by pulling him off. And they kept yelling, "David, David, we got to get out of here. We're going to get in bad trouble and all that." And I said, "No, I want to make sure this guy is killing him. He's murdering this boy. So we did get out. We got
Yeah,
out.
but I think too, hearing from the other people, David, you got hit again in that thing with the billy club in the head, and he was dazed, because virtually, you know, kind of half knocked out, and that's when his friends grabbed him and almost basically had to help you out the
Yeah,
door because you couldn't even.
I couldn't walk.
Right, I'm
But
sorry.
but you know something? Um, it happened, and I wanted badly to stay there. Mind you, I'm supposed to be moving at 11 o'clock, right? Here I am, still there, and I said, we can't let this go on. So when we went outside, remember that day, Judy was
Laid to rest.
laid to rest. So there was a lot of people in New York City, and the night was beautiful. It was a moonlit night. It was beautiful night, and all of a sudden you hear people say, "Leave that girl alone. Leave that, that kind," because they were trying to get us into a thing called paddy wagons,
Yeah, the drag queens,
and the ones that they were arresting the most were drag queens. You know that because when they got into the press, they showed drag queens. They're not going to show guys like us. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand what was really going on yet because there was still commotions going on inside the bar until they started coming out. And when they started coming out, um, they were dragging the drag queens, into the car, into the vans, in the back,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden they started fighting back. They started saying, "No, we don't want this," and they were pushing back. They actually pushed back the cops and got out of a couple of those paddy wagons. It became a thing that was so unreal. We never expected something like this ever. We know that if we walk down the street, like Bobby told you, one day I got beat up. A lot of my friends did too. When they were alone, that was the worst thing you can do is be alone walking down the street. I had a lot of my black friends who I could tell you stories about what went on with them. Young, young, beautiful, beautiful guys and girls, and they could tell you stories that were unreal. It was unreal, but it was happening. So I got outside, and one of the things that I always will remember is that when I got outside, I was trying very, very, very hard to cool down because I didn't want to get arrested or, you know, put in a paddy wagon or whatever. That I wanted to be there for some of my friends because a lot of them were street kids, meaning their parents would throw them out. The kids would have no place to go. They sleep in the subways. You know what I mean? They probably stayed with friends once in a while in their apartments, but there was a lot of kids like that. As a matter of fact, I remember where the policemen were running after, actually, it was the street kids. They were feisty, they didn't care. And they were running after them down the street, around the block. And when the time came that we saw them again, we saw the cops running. They were behind the cops and all. They were feisty. Well, come on now. You're living in the street, sleeping in the subway, and family throws you out and all that. Are you going to be nice to these people? Look what you have done to me, that kind of thing.
It was really the first time that the gay community fought off the police.
Yes.
I mean, that really,
We never touched the
I
police.
think the police department were probably shocked because no
Yeah.
one ever, just said,
Stood up.
and they were, jumping. Matter of fact, you mind if I talk about Stormy?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Stormy, I don't know if have you ever heard of Stormy DeValier?
No.
Oh,
Okay, Stormy, Stormy was born in New Orleans. When was it? 19. I wrote it down.
20.
1920. But her real name was Viva May Thomas.
Yes.
Thomas. She ended up being, her name was Stormy later on.
Revere, yeah.
She was a drag king.
Okay.
You know what a drag king is?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you can look her up, Google her
Yes.
name.
Yes.
She was quite a nice looking young woman.
Oh, very.
But she was also a very handsome young man when you saw her.
Her mother was white,
No, her father was white,
and her mother was
was
black.
black.
Yeah, right, right.
So,
From New Orleans.
but she was a feisty gal. I mean, I
Yeah.
could, I really loved her because her and I really used to be always tight with each other. I mean, we even marched in the
In the
Pride Parade,
New York.
and Stormy and I were arm in arm because
Yeah.
I really liked her.
Oh, yeah.
But she was some tough lady. Let me
Mhm.
tell you, she used to be the MC at the Jewel Box Review
You ever heard the Jewel Box
in New
Review?
York.
That was very well known, the Jewel Box Review.
But when it came to time of the rebellion, I mean, she was one of the first people, especially the ones they were throwing her into a paddy wagon, and she really fought back.
Yeah.
I mean, she socked a few cops, and she got out of the paddy wagon. But through the years, I mean, prior to that, I mean, we talk about David being beat. Cops beat her up too. They broke her legs.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things. It wasn't just guys. It was the lesbians and drag kings and drag queens. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody was hit. But I remember that year when we were in the Pride Parade, we were waiting to start off. We would go right down Fifth Avenue, and they have a car which they call the Stonewall car.
The Stonewall car. Yeah.
We can tell you about that later. But it was parked, and it was sort of like the bumper was in the crosswalk. Now the streets were blocked off, and a cop came and said, "You're going to move this car," and we all said, "Why?" Well, it's sticking into the crosswalk. Now, think about it. The streets were blocked off. There was no traffic. People were walking in the streets. A crosswalk didn't mean anything. So Stormy was there, and now Stormy was up there already. She was probably in her
Oh, yeah.
70, 75.
Almost 80 years old, yeah.
She walked up to the cop and said, "Excuse me?" He said, "The car, it's the bumper is in the crosswalk." She looked at him straight in the face. This, I'm laughing she looked at the cop straight in the face. She said, "Listen, we didn't put up with your shit in 1969, and we're not going to put up with it now." And the cop just looked at her and didn't say a word. He just walked away. It's like I ain't gonna mess with this woman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
tough.
but she was a lovely, lovely lady. She
We
died
loved
at the age of 94,
93.
93, yeah. Yeah. And you know, I have to say this because I'm sure the head of the Stonewall Veteran Association is going to see our film,
Williamson.
Williamson, you know. To me, when you have people who have been just who they are, she was a beautiful looking drag king.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, a drag king is
She's-
when a girl dresses like a man. Drag queen is, you know what I'm telling you. She lived a good life, a very good life, and her parents were close with her and all that stuff. But when she got older, I know this, she had problems
Health.
financially and health,
Yeah.
real bad. And she was sick for a long time, yes, but she was always at the meetings, at the Stonewall meetings in New York City,
Right.
always very good friends of Williamson and the guys, and a very lovely, lovely, lovely lady. Um, to me, she lived such a wonderful, wonderful life because she was who she was, and that was it. And she became the, Stonewall, not Stonewall, Stormy Levere, is that how you say
De La
it?
Vere.
De La Vere. And you have to admire that woman. You have to admire her because um, her being who she was, and then when she got older, um, things were not good for her. You know what I mean? But we heard, now I heard this, that the Jewish people of New York City helped her,
Paid for her
paid for her stuff, everything,
the nursing
Right.
home.
nursing home and all. I didn't know this until I was told. I said, really? Yeah. They, she was in a nursing home, but they took care of her. Just to show you what life is. You're here, you are who you are, you're a great, you know, she was a performer at the Jewel Box. And she was a bouncer, yeah, at the Stonewall. Aha. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah, when sometimes when some of the guys were leaving the Stonewall, and she had a sort of an inkling that they were going to be harassed or
yeah,
something, she'd be walking behind them
yeah,
like the protector. If somebody came at one of the guys, she was
right
in
there.
their face.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Just a lovely, lovely human being.
now tell me, what was her stature like? Because in my mind's eye, I see a little woman, not a big woman.
You are right. She was.
She was small but very handsome. You got to see her picture. You could see
Yeah.
it on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was very handsome,
I'll
dressed up
I'll
real
email
nice.
you her name so you can Google it.
Okay.
Thank you.
But, and then another thing too, understand, since I forgot I was talking to a lot of people, um, she was a black woman.
Yeah.
She was a black woman, um, you know, um, very attractive, uh, very, when you want a man, she was better looking than me. and and a woman of care.
Yeah, she
Not
was.
even when she was old. I remember I went to a meeting that they had in Manhattan, and she was there, and she was so just a very lovely lady, just a lovely lady. So if anybody wants to know about her, um, her name is
Stormy DeVilliers.
de Villiers. You'll see
I'll
it.
I'll email it to
Yeah,
her.
and the people.
Yeah.
All right. And when you email me, I'll put it on my community page so that everybody
Good.
Oh
can
yeah.
at least get a picture to see what she looked like.
Oh yeah. Very, very, very lovely looking, and very astute.
Yeah.
And
And positive. She was
a
positive. I
very
mean,
positive woman.
she didn't
Yeah,
take BS from anybody, and but she had a great outlook.
yeah.
The other person that people don't think about, Emil Griffith, him, the
You ever,
boxer.
the boxer? Did you ever hear of him?
No, but please tell.
Yeah, his
I'm
name
sure
is
other
Emil.
people have.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Emil Griffith,
yeah, he was
a boxer.
well-known boxer.
Mhm.
He said he was bi. People would talk with him, and yeah, I'll date women this week, and I'll date a man next week. I mean, he was just. But
Where,
he was,
where was he born?
Emil was born in St.
In
Thomas.
St. Thomas. Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Let me tell you a little story. All right. Emil was a boxer, and he was a good boxer. He was good at what he did. Uh, you could always count on a penny, you know, putting it to him. But one day, a young man from Cuba, Havana, Cuba, showed up who was a boxer, and he wanted to box him
It was
because
a
Emil was
yeah,
always winning.
it was one of these title matches, I think.
Yeah, right. And they boxed, right? And Emil knocked him out. but, but, but he knocked him out
That guy died.
and he died.
Oh.
He died. He was Cuban, um, probably like Emil, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I'll never forget that Emil one day was called by a woman years later. It was the kid's mother from Cuba, and she wanted to talk with him. So she took a walk in the park with her. Here's what we heard, right? And sat with him and said, "It's okay.
Yeah, I forgive you.
Don't worry.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. It's okay."
Because that
You know,
weighed on Emil
oh,
horribly. Yeah.
terribly, terribly. But he was a good boxer, but something happened,
Yeah.
something to do with the brain. I don't know. I can't say anymore. Maybe you could look that up when get a chance. Emil Griffith, boxer, you know, from
I can,
Jamaica.
yeah. I can email you that name
All
too.
that.
So,
And this is another guy who once in a while would be a doorman at the Stonewall, and he was very close to a lot of our friends in New York City, and you know,
he was Grand Marshal at one of the Pride
right,
parades in New
right,
York
right. I
too.
forgot. Yeah, he was a grand marshal too. Good man, good man. And he passed away in 2010,
13,
13. Yeah, Emil.
and Stormy died 2014.
That's right. Yeah.
Plus,
But we've had some really great people in New York City, gay people. We have. There's other people, but I wanted to tell you more about Emil and Stormy because they were really, you got to really give them, what's the word I want to use in New York
Their
City?
props.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You're not a New Yorker, are you?
No,
No, no. You act like it. Especially when you go, oh, all right.
I talk with
That's
my
you.
hands.
That's you. That's you. But I want to say one thing before I finish, and Bobby could show you other things you have. I want to say to the young people, if you are looking, remember, I'm a man of 28. I'm old. um, with all this going on that we have now in the gay world that we didn't have in the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, on. You have LGBTQ, whatever, whatever, whatever. I was married once, and I should have waited at least 2 years because after 2 years, David sort of started going, "Oh, I think that guy is quite cute," you know, and I didn't. But the way things are going right now, youngies, all right, and I'm talking to lesbians, I'm talking to gays, bisexuals, drag queens, all. You know, if you meet somebody, a straight thing, all right, and you fall in love, whatever, whatever, I would advise all of you to date maybe 2 or 3 years because things happen that I could actually say, why did I do this? But all right, it's done. So before you oh, let's get married now. Let's have a wedding. No, don't do it. Know each other. Bob and I have been together. It's going to be 52 years we've been together. And when we first met, we dated each other. We went to Puerto Rico. We went, we traveled,
right.
and then we got to know each other really very well. And here we are,
Here we are.
you know. But do that. I'm not saying not to get married, and I'm not saying, um, not have a family. I'm just saying that because of all the LNP, all that that's going on, and a lot of it we don't know what it is, but it's happening. Give yourself a chance, and when the time comes that you feel it's okay, or it might be okay by meeting another guy or another girl. So I tell that to the kids in the colleges because, and they look at me, and when they look at me, they just stare at me, and they give me this applause because I think all of them, the straight kids and the gay kids, right? We all know what's happening. We all know that yes, I could marry this lovely woman right now, and 3 years from now, when I have 5 kids, then I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, you know what I mean? Well, um, and that's something that I really would like for the young kids to really look into. It's not hard to love somebody and not marry them for a while. It's not hard.
No.
It's I did it, and um, but the thing is, and when you meet somebody, right, be truthful. That's all. Be truthful. It's so important. There's one thing that Bobby has to read to you.
Yeah, because we're almost at. I just want to read a letter that David received. Um, dear
Wow.
Dear David, thank you for your kind gifts. I was touched by your warm gesture. At Stonewall, people joined together and declared they had seen enough injustice. While being beaten down, they stood up and challenged not only how the world saw them, but also how they saw themselves. History shows that the spirit takes hold and little can stand in its way. So the riots gave way to protests, the protests gave way to a movement, and the movement gave way to a transformation that continues today. Please know that I'm grateful for your continued support for our shared values and the vision for our nation's future. Your generosity is much appreciated, and I wish you and Bob all the best. Sincerely, Barack Obama.
Wow.
President Barack Obama.
Wow. Oh, oh, I got chills. Wow. Oh, that's
We're gonna
wonderful.
send you a copy. I'm
Thank
gonna send
you.
you a
Thank
copy.
now,
Yeah,
because we're at
and
we're
so
at our hour.
no,
So everybody who would
no,
like to know more about David's story or about all the people who were present during Stonewall, this book right here, y'all, please go ahead and get it. It's called The Stonewall Generation, and it's written
Bye.
by Jane Fleshman. Am I
Right,
saying
Fleischman,
her
yeah,
right.
yes,
Flyman?
yes,
Okay,
Fleischman, yeah. She's a
Fleischman by
wonderful
Jane
woman.
Fleischman. The Stonewall Generation, y'all.
Yeah,
And look at David signed his chapter for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
sure.
Gentlemen, I am so grateful that you came on, and this is the right time because here
Yes,
you are in the third act of your lives,
yeah,
and you guys are the ones who are showing us who come after you
yeah,
how to stand up for
yeah,
ourselves when
yeah.
when we get pushed too far
Ah,
to that there's nothing left to do but to fight for ourselves
yes,
and to fight for those that we love and care about. And David, I want to say thank you, because even though you don't know what happened to that boy who was getting choked out by that cop, you put yourself in danger to try to help someone else. And believe me, the all sees everything, and your blessings are stacked up like gold in Scrooge McDuck's vault. So
Tanya, can I say one more thing before we hang up?
absolutely.
Talking about William Williamson. He is the head of the Stonewall Veterans Association in New York City. You can look that up. You know, um, Bobby got a phone call at our house about 10 years ago, something like that.
Longer.
Oh, like 15 years ago. And the person behind the phone said, "Is David Bermudez there, live there?" I said, "Yeah." Well, it was the Stonewalls Association of New York City, all right? I said, oh, are you coming down? I said, well, yeah. So, all right. So what I want to say was this. The guy came in to say hello at the restaurant, and everything was great. And he says, you tell me, what is it that really was the thing that bothered you the most at Stonewall? So I told him about the boy. That boy must have been, I've killed him and all that kind of stuff. He says, yeah. I says, it's been on my mind for years, you know? You know what he says to me? I'm the boy. He's the boy. William Williamson from New York City. He's the head of the Stonewall Association, Veterans Association. You know why we're veterans? We're the ones that were in the bar, not the ones that were outside. So William is still alive in his 70s. Good guy, good guy.
Ornery as ever.
Right. That is the perfect ending to this story, that boy is okay and he's the chairman. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all, again, if you would like to read David's story, The Stonewall Generation, and Mildred has done her homework already. Thank you, Mildred. Says it is available on Amazon, so y'all can go ahead and order it right now. So thank you, David. And let me wipe my tears, golly. Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Oh,
and
thank
y'all,
you.
Much love to you.
Much love, much love.
Well, the one thing I just want to say is you guys are heroes. You are American heroes. And thank you for leading us into this next battle. Because if it's not worth dying for, it's not worth fighting for. So y'all, we got to stand up for what it is we believe in. And don't be afraid.
You hit it right.
Right.
Because as soon as we do, everything changes. If it hadn't been for Stonewall, us gay people today would not be enjoying the freedoms that we enjoy now. So thank you. Thank you for all those blows you took to make my life easier. Thank you. All right.
Yes.
All right. We're going to call this a wrap. I love you. I love you. Thank you, everybody who joined in. Thank you. And thank you thank you, David Bermudez and Robert Isidore. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Love you.
Love you back. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.